If we're being completely honest, this journey began way back in 2010 when I was a sophomore in high school. But that full-length story is for another day on another video. This journey starts back in 2020. I was working 3 jobs, driving 60 to 100 miles 2 to 3 times a week in LA traffic. I was at a point in my life and my PhD where I felt like no one cared about me or my research. I had gotten so caught up in chasing grants, needing approval from professors, and associating my value as a person and as a scholar on how much money people thought I deserved. I had immense guilt about asking for more funding because I was made to feel like I should just be happy with the crumbs I was handed, all while still trying to do good research and survive living in LA. I was underfunded, overworked, and honestly feeling overwhelmed. And it sounds so bad now, but I vividly remember sitting and praying for COVID to come in and shut the world down. And of course, back then, I had no idea just how much COVID would take from us as a community, as people. And now, knowing what I know, I would have never made such a request. But back then, I was desperate and didn't know how I was going to be able to keep up. But the lockdown did eventually come, as did the end of the school year and consequentially the end of my working contracts. And I finally found myself for the first time in over a year in a sense of calm and stillness. Or perhaps I was just numb. But regardless, the reality was, for the first time in a long time, I was doing absolutely nothing. And it felt so good. I lived off of small savings, supported by a modest stipend from my advisor. And I used this time to catch up on anime and trendy TV shows that I love, like Travel Man. But eventually, Hulu, Netflix, and even HBO reached their limits. And somehow I found myself stumbling across YouTube. Now, since I can remember, social media, content creation, performance, art, they all have always been a part of my life and something that has caught my attention.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Just Saying Radio. I am your host, Risa Marie.
Hey, what's up? You know you are tuned into your girl, Miss Hazel. Now we do.
What is most important for this story is this time when I heard a little voice in my head ask, could I be a YouTuber? I didn't laugh it off. But instead, I decided to ask the leading authority on the topic, YouTube. And I began watching YouTube videos from leading YouTube channels like Catherine Manning and Aaron on Demand. And I started to learn more and more and more about it. And that silly little question turned into more of a proposition. And I remember one particular video suggesting that if you were really serious about pursuing YouTube, you should try writing down video ideas. And if you couldn't get at least 30, then you might not be ready. So I began writing, and I ended up with over 100. If I'm being honest, I was very much interested in the idea that YouTube somehow could help me pay for grad school. I mean, I wasn't being dramatic when I said I was desperate. I was looking for any support that I could get to just help me get my PhD. And when I realized that YouTube might actually be a viable option, well, I started preparing. And in August of 2020, I had officially signed up and created my YouTube channel. I think it's important to also say that I am a very type A person that has a somewhat of an obsessive personality, which means I genuinely enjoy having a task that I can plan and execute. And it's also important to note that by this point, we had been well into the pandemic and social distancing was at its height, meaning I almost never left the house. And so I spent basically all of my free time thinking about and planning for YouTube. Not because I had to, but because I was just really excited about it. It was a privilege to work from home and to have access to internet and electricity, and even the ability to buy my camera. Not to mention, my family and friends are always very supportive of my quirky dreams. However, if it wasn't for these privileges, the idea of my YouTube channel would have just ended as quickly as it started. And I was also a student. YouTube wasn't necessarily my lifelong dream, but rather it was me trying my hardest to find and try anything to support my graduate education. So if YouTube would have negatively impacted my education, or my education made me incapable of being consistent or developing quality content for YouTube, then pursuing this venture would have not been worth it at all. And so I made a plan with the hopes to be able to balance it all. And I spent the rest of 2020 writing, recording, and editing as many videos as I possibly could before January 4th, which was the first Monday of 2021. And to my surprise, I had made just enough videos to get through an entire academic quarter at UCLA, which gave me just enough confidence to actually go ahead and start publishing my videos. At the beginning, it was really slow moving.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel where we talk about everything grad life, grad advice, and research.
And if we're still being completely honest, it's still moving pretty slowly. Wish yourself luck. That's not what I want to say. Are you coming in and out? But it is still moving. And as I continue to record and publish videos, I'm starting to feel different. I am having so much fun, having a creative and artistic outlet, talking to people through comments, working on something outside of academia. The past 11 months have been amazing because YouTube has transformed from some Hail Mary attempt to pay for grad school to a space where I can share my experiences, my dreams, and hopefully help others avoid the pains, mistakes, and shame that I had throughout my grad experience. It no longer feels like a business venture or a possible income source, though I still very much hope it becomes one. But now it feels like a gift to myself and to others who might be just like me, or maybe nothing like me, but still in need of this information. It has become a home where I have virtual grad friends or future grad friends, which feels a lot less weird in this continuing pandemic, post-pandemic world. It also feels like a place where I can continue to grow and learn and explore all that life has to offer. And that is something I didn't expect, but I am forever grateful for. So I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for over 30,000 views, for the comments, for the shares, for everything. I appreciate all of you because you made me realize I have something valuable to share, and you appreciated it and so graciously and gently received all of my imperfect videos, my quirky jokes, and my forever changing editing style. So thank you for subscribing, for watching, for just being nice. And a special thank you to my family and Eric for being so encouraging. 1,000 isn't a lot, but it is a lot more than nothing. And that is something special.